From the Connections Studio Suites, it's Connections. Connections is relationship radio.
Oh, it's time. Time to do that thing we call connections. Always something different, always something interesting, and this time, look what we got here. We have Elizabeth Johnson and wait, are you guys have like the same name or something? CJ? Hi, you guys doing all right?
We're doing good. How are you, Melissa?
I am doing good. That's Elizabeth. CJ, how you doing? You all right? You gotta turn yourself on mute there.
Am I still on mute?
I don't know. You were talking and nobody could see anything coming out of your mouth.
Well, I was trying to talk.
You're good. All right. Did you start drinking already?
Well, you know,
I'm
yesterday. No, I'm joking.
It's 1:30. All right, 1:30, a little cocktail. All right, mimosas for the ladies, but here's what's going on. You met Elizabeth Johnson before, Playtime Multimedia, Playtime. They came in here and just kicked butt. There were like 20 of them on the screen all at once, and everybody got a word in at once, all at the time, and everybody got to talk. So today, we're here to promote a new book that's coming out that I'm very excited about. I'm really glad that you used my name in the title. And that wasn't about me. No. Y'all, really?
It wasn't. I mean, if you want it to be about you, it would be about you. But
you know what? I am not that person. I really am not. Everything is about me. You know people like that, though. Everybody does. Everybody's got a narcissist in the group. But once you see through them, then they pick on somebody else. So this is a new book that we have out. CJ and Elizabeth got together and they put this thing out. It is called Mamaw's Kitchen. Trust goes a long way. All right, somebody tell me how this came about, how y'all collectively became to work together and all that, and let's get it rocking. Elizabeth?
I'll let CJ start it off because CJ was the one that brought me together on this journey with her. So I'll let her start it off and then I'll kind of be the cleanup person.
Okay, but CJ, you go by Auntie Nan. Is that not correct?
I do. For my children's books, it's Auntie Nan, yeah.
Okay, so why don't you tell us how this collaboration came together since Elizabeth just punted it to you?
So it came together because of a little girl named Linnea who lives in Indianapolis, Indiana. And she is such a character. She's my great niece. And I wrote a book a couple of years ago about her and her papaw. And I wanted to write a book about her and her Mamaw. And I lost inspiration on my children's book journey. And then I met Elizabeth and she had just like my dad out. And I thought, I need inspiration. And I started getting a lot of inspiration working with Elizabeth. And I thought, what about if I asked her if she would write this book with me, finish this book? Because Linnea, as a character, needs to get out there because I want to show you something here.
Go on, you show it.
These are the books that I read when I was a child. Ramona Quimbley. Everyone remembers Ramona and Beverly Cleary. Mm-hmm. And Linnea is the character of our generation now, of the kids now. And I thought she needs to get out there and we need to create this new Ramona character. But I need Elizabeth. She's the inspiration that we need. So bringing Auntie Nan and Elizabeth Johnson together to get Linnea out in the world was the only way we were going to do it. And it's how we got Mamaw going because of the inspiration of this little girl and her love for her family. And then bringing the baking, what Elizabeth does so well. If you have not seen all of her posts on all the baking, like when I go to Florida, I'm gaining like 500 pounds. I know it because I'm not going to stop eating. So that's how it started.
I got to tell you now, for those of you that can see the book cover, which is beautiful. Is that you, Elizabeth? Is that you?
That's me. Yes,
because that's me. And that's one of your graphic artists that does this work too, right?
Well, we had a graphic artist, Milbur Art, who's out of, they did this book for us, and they're out of, where are they from, CJ?
They're a Ukrainian company.
Ukrainian.
Yep.
Really?
Yeah, they came up, did the cover for us. So we want to give a big shout out to them because everything that's been going on over there, they were still able to come up with the cover and they did an amazing job with it.
Yeah, it looks beautiful. So it's It's not it's Mama. Is that how you say it?
Mamaw.
Mamaw. Okay. All right. Just trying to make sure I get it right because I got Meemaws and Mamaws and Moo-moos. Not so much. But anyway, so the book is going to be released in the at the end of November, right after Thanksgiving. Yes. But pre-orders are being taken now. You can go to PLATYMM.com. That's PlayTyMM.com and do a pre-order. And as soon as you go to the site, boop, pops up, says you want hardcover or a paperback. And
yes.
The one thing that, I don't know, CJ, I know now you've gotten on board here with Elizabeth, but we had Elizabeth in months ago for the first time, and you got a story, girl. Let me tell you about getting the reading and the kids and books in hand. Can you tell us just a little bit about that drive that you've been doing, trying to get books in kids' hands and encourage reading?
Yeah, I'm just trying to make sure that everyone is adapt when it comes into reading and making an impact. As you know, I was on here with you, Melissa, with Just Like My Dad, and we were talking about that. And just like my dad going into schools, and now even here with CJ, my co-author here, Auntie Nan, getting this book out, because not only is this book going to be an inspiration and make an impact, this book also has 2 amazing recipes in it, along with the chapter book as well. So you'll be able to bake you some brownies and also some lemon bars and be able to have an amazing story to go behind it. So I'm blessed to have an amazing co-author such as CJ herself, Auntie Nan, to be on this journey with me, for even having Linnea, her family, and CJ and her family to choose me to be on the cover of this book and go on this journey as a series, and for this book to be an impact to the world.
See, CJ or Auntie Nan, whichever you prefer, is the little girl in the picture Linnea?
It is. I have pictures of Linnea that you could see. It is the exact replica of Linnea. And the reason why we wanted Elizabeth on the cover is because Elizabeth, she is the epitome of education and what young children need to understand what education is. And on being on the cover of a book, Elizabeth will graduate this December with her college degree, her second college degree.
There you go.
And that is extremely important because she's in the schools every single day talking to educators. She's going to be October 15th. She's going to be in a public library teaching them about the lessons in these books. And she will not write a book or co-author a book unless it is teaching a lesson. It's not just about the fun. It's about making sure that every child understands that literacy is important because it's the key to changing your entire life. So I just couldn't do this unless it was her inspiration, because I hadn't wrote a children's book in almost 2 years. And that's how I started my author career. And it was my first love. And I was starting to lose that inspiration, and meeting Elizabeth and that inspiration and passion that she had, I said, let's go. Let's go.
And so if you're just tuning in to Connections, of course, it's Relationship Radio. And right now, we're talking about the relationship between CJ, also known as Auntie Nan, and Elizabeth Johnson, and how the two of them came together, refreshed and rejuvenated your needs to put children's books forefront. And the two of you, this collaboration, I love it. And I can't wait to get my lemon bar recipe, honestly. I mean, that's exciting.
Honestly, it's coming. And Melissa, as you said, me and CJ coming together, literally, me and CJ have not came together because I've never met CJ in person.
Right. But you know what? That is, ever since the pandemic, these kind of collaborations have just gone 100%. And it's amazing. You guys hooked up with a graphic artist on the other side of the world, a war-torn world, no less, in Ukraine. And you know what? We're going to take a break here because I'm getting excited. It's getting away from me. But I've got Elizabeth Johnson, CJ Ives Lopez with us. I am Melissa Fox. We're going to take a quick break. If you want, check out our podcast on the iHeartRadio app. Just search Connections Relationship Radio. Be right back.
Connections is Relationship Radio. It's Connections.
Is this a rehearsal or is this are we taping?
Shh.
who run this place are absolute idiots.
I really like not knowing what's going to happen next.
Me too. Welcome back. It's Connections, relationship radio with a twist. We do this for you on the social media Tuesday afternoons when I, have that urge. No, just kidding. When I've got people, guests, and stuff lined up. And then we play it back on Thursday nights on News Radio WFLA Orlando. It is sponsored by Pharmacy Specialists with particular interest to women going through the change. You know you need a compounding pharmacy, seriously, okay? Because your hormone replacement therapy is very personalized. So go to makerx.com. Am I lying, ladies, right? You haven't gotten there yet. You have no idea. Oh, see, right? I can heat a room. Yo, I can heat a room. It's so hot. Please, I don't wish this on anyone. But with that in mind, we've got some special guests with us today. Mamaw Mel's Kitchen. No, I got it wrong again, didn't I?
You got it
that time.
No, I did get it right.
That time.
The book we're talking about is Mamaw Mel's Kitchen. Trust Goes a Long Way by Elizabeth Johnson on the top of your screen and Auntie Nan, also known as CJ Lopez, on the bottom of your screen. I am to the side over here. So tell me. All right, we know this is about real people, combination, a little girl that you know, CJ, and of course, the best cook in the whole world who brings it all together. CJ, you know Elizabeth did this, right? That's why she's on the cover. She brought this whole food element into this, and you all had to have a story. But now, with that in mind, and Elizabeth, I know, CJ, maybe you guys are about the same, in the same, decade ballpark. I'm a little older, but it used to be that most lessons were taught in the kitchen as we were cooking. As Grandma was sharing recipes with, Mom and baby girls were sitting there learning, and we were learning everything. It wasn't just about baking. It was lessons. Life lessons were going on, even if the illusion was that we were just making bread. There was always something that echoed or was parallel to a life lesson in there. And those days, they seem like they're sliding away. That makes me sad because, so many people just don't spend that time in the kitchen or as a family unit or any of that. And I know that you two are so big on. We got to bring that back. So with that in mind.
Yeah, we're bringing that back. Yeah, absolutely. And we're bringing that back with this book. And you have to start somewhere. Although it's kind of sliding away, us bringing it back is starting there. With this book, it has a chapter story. It's a story, and we want them to get the story, but we also want them to also go in the kitchen and bake these amazing treats, which I have set before you today. I have some amazing treats, and not only do I have amazing treats, they also have our sticker on there with the book on there as well.
Oh, look at that.
And what I'm doing is I'm just passing this out into the community, and it's going to have the where you can go online and order the book. And it's just letting them know that Mamaw is out in the community and spreading the love of baking and also the love of what this book is going to be. Although it has we want you to be able to get the storyline. We want you to be able to enjoy the storyline. Although me and CJ came and we, came up with the book and we read the book, even going back through the manuscript and going through the book, it just brings tears to my eyes because of the impact that it's bringing out.
Yeah, you guys, this is awesome. By the way, if you're just tuning into the show here, this is grassroots effort here. This isn't some huge money back thing we're going to, splash all over billboards because they got money to burn. This is honest, we need to change the world kind of stuff going on here. And it's grassroots. I mean, you might have a little bit of help here and there financially, but for the most part, y'all are generating all this yourselves. And the message is clear. Y'all got to read. We got to get back to the good stuff, and we got to make lemon bars and brownies.
Yeah, and one of the things that Elizabeth says all the time in our group meetings that we have with the company is she says, bring it back to the basics. We got to bring it back to the basics. The times when we sat around the table and you had those hard conversations with your mom, with your dad, with your kids, with your aunt, with your uncle, the times when big families got together during the holidays and you hashed out what you had to hash out. You didn't take it out and do the things that the kids and the parents are doing outside of the house that are creating this these horrible relationships that you no longer come inside the house and you handle. Not saying that you need to hide things inside the house, but have a conversation, make those brownies and talk, find out what's going on with your children before it happens and you no longer have the ability to handle it. I baked with my children growing up. When they were growing up, I baked Christmas cookies every Christmas Eve. That was something that I did because my grandmother did it with me. I grew up in a tumultuous household with my mother and with my sister on drugs and things, but my grandmother still baked cookies with me. And that's what I remember growing up. And that was probably one of the reasons why I got out of the situation that I was in. And there's so many kids that may not have that. But if parents just one tiny little thing, and that's why this book takes it back to those basic things of one small moment that you spend can last an entire lifetime.
Oh, it's true. It is so true. I remember moments. I do. Now, my grandmother used to make rum balls for Christmas. One for the mix, one for me, one, two for the mix.
Hey, you put it on their teeth when they're teething.
Yeah, oh yeah. We did that rum toddies and such when we were sick. But it's a different world nowadays. And yeah, I can't tell you the last time I had any cookies that were made from scratch. And I'm not talking about the stuff that's already prepared and you just cut it out with a spoon and drop it on a sheet. I'm talking about getting it down with the flour in your hands and the whole thing and rolling it out. I can't tell you the last time I've had that because everything is store-bought and crappy. Frankly, it's not good. But
we want this to be an inspiration for you. Maybe you can have your nieces and nephews over and be able to read the story and be able to bake the lemon bars and the brownie bars with your family. And that's why with this book being out in November 30th is coming out, it's in time for the holidays. So, we want it to be in time for the holidays to where it can be that Christmas book, that New Year's Eve book, that New Year's book, that's going to bring inspiration to everyone.
Most definitely. This, again, if you're just tuning in, like I said, Elizabeth Johnson and CJ Lopez, I get it all, Auntie Nan. You folks, I absolutely am inspired by what you do and what you've been doing. The writers booth that you sort of have, I can't remember the name specifically, on Facebook. You have a group as well, very inspirational for anyone that wants to be an author or is starting out. Can you tell us a little bit about that one, CJ?
The Author's Porch, where every great conversation happens. It's a opportunity for authors to just come and be with other authors. It's like sitting on your front porch and it's just a bunch of authors, from the one that has a dream to the one that's a New York Times bestseller or Pulitzer Prize winner. We're all just hanging out, having a cup of tea, rum balls, whatever your pleasure is.
I gotta tell you, those rum balls of my grandmother sure had a kick. Whew.
We might need to get that recipe. I'm just saying.
Well, it's pretty simple. It's one rum for the recipe, one rum shot for me, two for the recipe, another shot for me. Yeah, and at some point, rum balls may have been made, but that was my grandmother. There was always great conversation going on there. But my grandparents passed very early, but I did have the formative years. I'm thinking anywhere from toddler on, they should be sitting in the kitchen while you're putting together the family meals or whatever, pastries for school or what have you. And it's just not happening as much anymore. And this book is going to make it happen. Elizabeth said so. Auntie Nan said so.
It's going to happen.
At Mamaw Mel's Kitchen. And we're going to talk a little bit more about that in just a second here. I want to take a quick break, all right? Because time is flying. We're having fun, and it's just flying. Again, I want you to check out Pharmacy Specialists. They are our sponsor this week on Connections, MakeRx.com. Dr. Juan Lopez has that HRT therapy that you need. No more night sweats. That would be great, wouldn't it? We'll be right back. It's Connections Relationship Radio with a twist.
Connections is Relationship Radio.
How do these things just spew out of your head like this? Can you at least use your brain as a filter?
Sex for men, when it's right, it's right. When it's wrong, it's still right.
Okay.
Connect.
It's Connections.
Welcome back to Connections Show, live on the social media platforms, Connections, Melissa Fox, 2X's, all that, on Tuesday afternoons, 1 p.m. Eastern Time. And then Thursday nights playing back on the radio at 9 p.m. and on Podcast Heaven on the iHeartRadio app. With me, guests today, we got Elizabeth Johnson and Auntie Nan, also known as CJ Ives Lopez. I think I got it in the right direction that way. Did I? I did! Yay for me. Okay, and right now we're talking about their latest book, the series. They did it together. It's the first in the series. The first one, which means there's at least 3 to 5 following. I feel this, at least. Because her name, Linnea, the girl, is going to have lots of adventures. She is. She's a very smart girl. She's very, very inquisitive and curious, as all girls should be, boys too. And Mamaw, which is also known as Elizabeth Johnson, apparently there's adventures in baking. Tell us a little bit of the story. Now, don't give it all away. No spoilers.
No spoilers. Okay. Absolutely. Well, I've never baked before a day in my life. So going in the kitchen and learning how to bake just simple cupcakes was an adventure for me. And I did that. And just spreading the frosting on with a knife. And I had someone come inbox me on Facebook and tell me, hey, have you ever thought about piping cupcakes? And I was like, no, what? I have never thought about doing that.
Thought about a pastry
and
bag?
From that moment on, I have been baking away. So I love to bake. I do cakes in a jar. I do cupcakes. I do regular cakes. And I just love the art that comes along with it and trying to create the art behind baking.
CJ, you like me, we need to know about this cake in a jar thing. And what's that all about? Cake in a jar?
Well, it's like cake in a jar, or you can have it a cake in a cup. And it's basically a cup with 3 cupcakes in it stacked up, and it has all of your favorite ingredients that's in there. So if you have or cookies and cream, let's say, you have your frosting, you have your 3 cupcakes, your Oreo cookies inside, and it's all crunched up, and you drizzle it with your chocolate syrup, and it's ready with a spoon, and you're able to have it in a cup, and you're able to put the top on it once you eat some of it, and you're not able to eat all of it, put your top on it and put it in the refrigerator and save for later.
You must not know me. There is no putting the top on it and saving it for later. Matter of fact, I just gained 8 pounds listening to this description of a cake in a jar, okay? Do you make cake pops too, the little things and all that goofiness?
The cake pops, I'm going to be getting into doing that as well. However, I love the cake part of it because the cakes, it makes you do a lot more, with the art and trying to decorate. So I'm loving that. And, whatever else comes along, I'm ready for the journey on that as well.
Now, when I was a kid, now it's my birthday this week, so I'm just saying. When I was a kid, I always requested this strawberry cherry kind of birthday cake, right? I know. Straight up pink cake with the pink strawberry frosting and the whole thing. So like last year, when I was not as old as I am today, I asked for that cake. It had been like 25 years. I said, you know what I really want? I want that cake. And someone actually made it for me. And I took one bite and went into sugar shock. And then I was like, whoa, apparently I liked it when I was 12. But it was just too strong. But if you could make me one of those, I'm just saying,
We'll see what we can do.
Actually, it's a
she
lot.
She has one in her arsenal.
Yeah, I'll bet
you
she
have
does.
to go on my page and look at the different cakes. It's like CJ says, whenever she comes to Florida, she's going to eat away. So
yep, it's going to be sugar crazy going on. Where do we find these pages with the pictures?
Oh, on my regular Facebook page, you can see the different cakes that I bake.
Okay, just Elizabeth Johnson.
Kitchen on my author's page. I'm also going to be sharing, the different brownies and lemon bars and whatever else we have from Mamaw's Kitchen. What we're going to be baking for the community. But those are the 2 recipes that we have that are in the book. And you're able to do that with your family, the lemon bars and the brownies recipe.
I love that. I really do love that. Are you Mamaw?
Who, me?
Mm-hmm. Because you don't look that old.
I'm Mamaw. Yes,
You are Mamaw.
I am. I don't look that old. No,
What?
I'm not that old, but I am Mamaw. Yes.
Yeah. So have you actually cooked it with the children's around or no?
No, I have not cooked with children around yet. And that's one of the inspirations behind this book. So going out into the community and doing events and different things like that, we're able to, prepare the treats. Maybe I can get them when I have the brownies already prepared. We can package them up like we have here in the little packages with the stickers.
Child labor.
We're able to
I love
do
it.
events.
Yeah, child labor. Make sure. Yes.
Yeah. So we want to make sure that they're doing it with their parents under supervision, children's supervision with their parents. So we want to make sure that that's
okay. That was a joke about child labor. I'm just kidding. So CJ, you got a youngin out there too. Did she do your hair? I forget how that worked out because you got this pretty pink stuff going on in your head.
I got rid of my kids a couple years ago. I've got a 19-year-old and a 22-year-old. They're off in college. Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. No, I went pink and all this lovely frilly with pink sparkly Crocs after the kids left. I was like, free to be me.
Fair enough. No judgment zone here, I'll tell you that. So, I mentioned that this is the first in the series. Mamaw Mel and her granddaughter, Linnea, they're going to have more adventures. Have we got anything penciled out yet? Mm-hmm. Oh, she's not. No. I saw that look. That is Elizabeth pursing her lips and going, we do, but I ain't telling you. I saw that. No. Well, everybody on social media is like, wow, well, that was cool. Because you ain't getting no information to do. No,
well,
seriously.
I'll let CJ answer that. Because I don't want to give too much away.
Okay, CJ.
Well, we're not, not on Mamaw Mel's because that's going to be coming out next year. So we're not giving too much, but we are working on another series. It's a young adult supernatural fantasy. Ooh. So we're going to be doing 2 series. Me and Elizabeth will be working on 2 series. One's going to be our children's book with Mamaw Mel, but in April we're coming out with a young adult sci-fi fantasy. And the cover is going to look like a younger version of Elizabeth. She's very iconic and epic.
I see this.
We can't help ourselves, but it is going to, obviously, we love to write about strong young women, strong women, and strong female characters because our young girls, our young women need those role models. So this is going to be kind of a theme with what we do and bring them back to the basics and those type of scenarios. But in April we will be coming out with a young adult fantasy series, the first of it.
Yeah, just a sidebar, because I'm not an author, but I play one on radio or something like that. But there's a lot of encouragement in the world now to get girls into STEM and science, technology, and math and engineering and math. And yeah, you guys, I know, I see it. She just like, yeah, I'm already on it. I just don't even give us any ideas.
Thank you, Melissa.
Yeah, already on it, aren't you? See, I'm in tune with you. But too late. Anyway, another thing is like I've done before. I've actually made a career out of having ADHD, which a lot of the girls who suffer from this are more daydreamy, hyperactivity, crazy here. And I've been able to kind of wrangle it in and utilize it and made a career in radio out of it, which I found when I talk about it on the radio is very encouraging, especially if there's a parent and a child situation that are listening and they're like, Melissa can do this, you can do this too, we're going to get through this. And they've gleaned a lot from me just being honest and saying, look, squirrel, this is what happens. And yet I was able to rein it in, you can too. So maybe there's another idea there, too. Yay, the girl who couldn't concentrate and focus, yes. But anyway, we're up against another darn break. This thing's going too fast. It is. Let's push this button right here. Here we go. Little rock music for us. Take us to the break here. Our guests today, Elizabeth Johnson, CJ Ives Lopez, and the book, Mamaw Mel and Mamaw Mel's Kitchen, Trust Goes a Long Way by Elizabeth Johnson and Auntie Nan. One more segment, we'll wrap it up and talk about what's coming up next for Playtime Media as well. Stay right there, Connections.
Connections is Relationship Radio.
3, 2, 1.
Yeah, it's time to come back from commercial.
I said it's time.
Yeah, you know it's time to come back.
Yeah, I hit that.
From commercial.
Actually, that's my partner.
Yeah, I said it's time to get back in your chair.
We back from commercial.
Back from commercial.
That's my partner in crime, Linda Nunez. If you would like entrance music, wouldn't you? I mean, honestly, CJ, Elizabeth, wouldn't it be nice? You walk in the room. Oh, Elizabeth's here. Yeah, so anyway, if you need that stuff, go to lindanunezmusic.com or nunezproductions.com, especially if you have like a podcast or something. We put all that good stuff together. All the things that you hear in and out of our commercial breaks are done by her. Guests today, Elizabeth Johnson, CJ Ives Lopez. The book is called Mamaw Mel's Kitchen. I'm going to get it right yet. Mamaw Mel's Kitchen. Trust goes a long way. Sometimes you just have to stop and pooey like that. You just have to. And then everything comes together. Sometimes it's like a reset. So, tell me a little bit what else is going on with Playtime. How's Ty doing? How's everything with the multimedia company? Are we making lots of big strides? Elizabeth?
Everything is going great. Since you've seen us last, Melissa, we also have Andrika, who is our audiobook specialist. She's coming out with her book, The Christmas Battle. So that'll be released in October 15th to be exact. She'll be coming out with that. Alan, who is our talent acquisitionist, he'll be coming out with his series, the Country Boy series, and he'll be coming out with that. And also, I have to stop and say this, that CJ and Tyrell are coming together.
What?
With an amazing book, yes. I'll let CJ tell you about that, but
okay.
Two masterminds are coming together for a book release.
So Tyrell is the man with the plan. He's the CEO, basically, of Playtime Media. And you just got him right on the hook, CJ? You were just like, come on, we got to do this? Really?
I was extremely blessed to be writing this book with him. It's called Never Cry Alone. And he is... I don't even know how to say.
Oh, don't start crying!
Coming out of my mouth.
Don't start crying.
It's a murder mystery, and I will tell you that I have never wrote with somebody like him before. Because when I'm reading his words, I'm sitting here going, "How can I supplement? Like, how can I add to this?" But we finally found a groove, and I was like, "Oh, thank God!" Because I didn't think I was going to be able to even be a part of this. But it was really nice. And I'll tell you, wow, that's all I can say.
She's all choked up about Tyrell.
I hope the world is ready.
Matt, you hope the world is ready for Tyrell CJ joint? I think they are. I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, yeah, he's something, isn't he? He's handsome, too. I saw. He's a good-looking dude. But he was sick for a while. He's doing better, right? Everything's all coming around for him, I hope.
All's good.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Very good. Well, what I expect is that we keep up with Enrica and everything else that's coming on, all your dates. We'll just, so that we can help you guys get that promotion. Because there's nothing that I love better than people who do it from the ground up. Grassroots, like I said earlier in the show. You guys, you're not out there going, hey, we're doing this, give us money. And that is the best part. You've got the collective geniuses of this whole Northeast area basically now, and you're adding to it. And we just got to keep helping you get the word out there. She's been, you went to a lot of schools in the last year or so, pushing books and pushing reading programs. And Elizabeth, I mean, I wish I could do that. I wish I had the time to go out and help do that too. All I do right now is I'm tutoring a child with autism, which is really, it's very hard. But that girl's gonna come around. I'm telling you. Yeah. And it takes a village. It really does. And this book, I've already got my pre-order. I went to your website. That's PLATYMM.com. And the first thing pops up is an order form for the new book, which is Mamaw Mel's Kitchen. And you can order hard copy or the softback if you like. But either way,
either way,
either
you
way,
can order hardback or paperback as well.
Now, if you're out there and you're a teacher and you want to get this book, maybe there's a deal. Let them know. Contact them. Tell them what you're doing. Say, hey, Elizabeth or whomever, I'm a teacher and I want my whole class to have it. And I'm sure they're going to try to figure out a way to get that into your students' hands, because that is the ultimate goal. That, and of course, bringing back cooking and conversation with your children. Oh, I cannot emphasize.
I love that. Cooking and conversation. I love that.
That's it. That's me. You can have it. You can have it. That just came right out. Cooking and conversation. But it's true.
I love it.
It is. And again, that is part of what's missing in this world, where nowadays people are back to working 3 or 4 jobs. They're barely seeing their children in transition. And, no one's cooking at home. If they are, it's not good. It's not the time involved, patient recipe type of stuff that we older folks, it's me, not you guys, that we know. I remember it. I really do. But of course, I remember the rum ball story, but for a different reason, not just because my grandmother got looped, but because then my sister afterwards she was about 3 at the time. She got a bag of those rum balls. They were like, 1 for you, 1 for me. And she ate the whole bag. And she was 4. And it was, we were like, oh, she going to be hungover tomorrow. But she was okay. I have not had rum balls. Yeah, I haven't had rum balls since then. But fruit cakes, all of that stuff, doesn't matter. Make it with your family. Cake, most important thing. You cannot have, you can't have life without cake. What's your favorite type of cake to make, Elizabeth?
I would have to say my Oreo cake is the favorite one.
Is that the one you described in the mug with all that goodies and stuff, or is it?
Well, it's an actual cake, and the shape is different. It's a different shape, and it has my frosting that comes on top, which comes out of the cake, and it has Oreos all around the cake, and I drizzle it with vanilla frosting.
Oh, yummy. And it needs to be served up with a scoop of French vanilla ice cream. I feel this. Yeah, a little scoop, a little alamo. Did she make you hungry too, CJ? Because I know I'm like, I got to get me some desserts. I'm going to look at your picture.
Across their stories and everything. And I'm like, man, this ain't even right. I have to go to the store now.
That's what I'm thinking about. I'm going to go get me some eggs and flour, a little something, make something good when I get home. It sounded good.
I go to the store. I don't bake.
Yeah. Oh, man. It's too hot here to bake right now, really. To fire that oven up, not here. Not going to happen. All right. So tell me. If what to do? If you were a tree, what kind of tree would you be? That's a Barbara Walters question. I will not ask that. I have a book. I mentioned the autistic child that I'm teaching. She's in a special school. Now, they're teaching a series that confused me just a little. And I honestly, I want to see how Elizabeth, I don't know if you're familiar with this, but it's a Greek mythology book that they've turned into an African-American study, sort of, if you will. It's called Tristan Strong and Punches a Hole in a Tree. And it's a whole bunch of, it's more, it's a little confusing to me because there's Ebonics in it. There's grandparents that speak very Ebonic. And they mention something from African folklore called a gum baby. Yeah. My kids, and I'm trying to figure out where and why this teacher would be teaching these stories, but I know there's a reason. There's got to be a reason behind it, but it is Greek mythology initially. But like I said, there's a lot of African reference, and I mean African as in countries, slaves coming over, trees, bottle trees, and things like that. Haints, lots of expressions, and I just wonder where you stand on that literature. Do you think that that's something we should be teaching all the way across the boards? I mean, I know you're not familiar with it.
I'm not familiar with it, so I can't even say what it is or whatever. But I know it's a lot of stuff going on, but I can't say because I don't know.
I want you to look it up. I'll give you the name later, and you get back to me. I'm just wondering because there's a lot of references, and it's a Disney-backed joint, but there's a lot of references that were removed from the movie songs of the South, like what is it, Uncle Remus and Briar Rabbit and all that. Those things that were taboo and taken out of Disney books are now back in this book, but with just a different sort of a name, and it's a little confusing. So I'm going to send it to you. You work on that, and when we get you back next time, we'll talk about Tristan Strong and see if if you have anything to say. And CJ, you don't know the series either, huh?
I've heard of Tristan Strong, but I'm not completely familiar with the content.
Okay, no worries. Just thought I'd bring that up, see if you did. Anyway, all right, so the book that we are talking about today and we want you to go out and get is Mamaw's Kitchen. A trust goes a long way. And it looks like this is going to be a very good little mystery, as well as quite a big learning experience for all of those people that pick this up. So I want you to do that. Again, go to the website, PLATYMM.com, and order today. Elizabeth, anything else we need to talk about before we get out of here?
Nope, just order the book and get ready for November 30th.
November
As the book is
30th.
coming out, it'll be released on November 30th.
Perfect. CJ, always a pleasure. Anything on your
Thank
mind
you
that we
so
missed?
much.
Yeah, just that.
No, just love it being here all the time.
Oh, aren't you sweet? You guys are so nice. All right, so this is them, Playtime Media, and that is Elizabeth Johnson, and we got CJ Ives Lopez. I am Melissa Fox. We call this Connections. Thank you so much for listening. Time to go, ladies. Let's say goodbye.
Bye.
Bye-bye, everybody. All right. Catch you next time. Love you. Mean it.
Laughing time is over.
There you have it, boys. Case closed.
You've been listening to Connections. Find tonight's show and replays of our past